Hello everyone, Alec Alger the SideQuest Gamer here, and today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite PC games of all time, and that would be Doom.
Is it nostalgia, or is it really that good? I don't know, but all I know is that Doom revolutionized the first-person shooter. While the FPS is one of my least favorite video game genres, Doom had something special about it. The enemies in the game were very memorable and sometimes even terrifying. There's of course the zombified human soldiers, the imps, the bull-like anthropomorphic demons, and their invisible counterparts the specters, and many, many more. The gameplay is simply amazing, since there's a selection of 7 guns total to use, although the plasma rifle, rocket launchers, and BFG 3000 you'll find later in the game. To be exact, the Shores of Hell and Inferno episodes. Each episode contained 8 levels plus a bonus level by using a secret exit in one of the levels. The goal of each level is to reach the exit, but many demons stand in your way, so it's kind of a fight or flight kind of game. Mostly flight if you play on the Nightmare difficulty, where the enemies respawn 8 or more seconds after death. Every episode ends with a boss battle, and the first one is easy, but the last 2 can be quite challenging, especially in the Nightmare difficulty. The game has 5 difficulty levels, by the way. The easiest being I'm Too Young to Die, then it gets harder with Hey Not Too Rough, Hurt Me Plenty, Ultra Violence, and the hardest being the Nightmare difficulty.
Now, I actually beat Doom on the Nightmare difficulty, and let me tell you, you better memorize the level layout, otherwise you're gonna have a real hard time. I am not kidding.
The game does have a story, and basically, your character is investigating a space station that was experimenting with portal technology. Unfortunately, they opened a portal to one of the deadliest dimensions of all time. Not only that, Mars's moon Deimos disappeared into that dimension. So the other Mars moon, known as Phoebus, is taken over by demons, and you have to fight your way out of the space station and make your way from Phoebus to Deimos to even the dimension itself, which I will not spoil for you because it is a major plot twist.
Some people call Doom the spiritual successor to Wolfenstein 3D, and I'll say that Doom does play kind of like that. But there is a few differences, like in Doom some levels can have more than one flat surface, like there can be multiple floors in one level of Doom, while Wolfenstein 3D is just one flat maze. And also, the levels in Doom have a little bit more diversity than Wolfenstein 3D's levels, and while I love Wolfenstein 3D, I found myself more lost in those levels more often than not because they look so similar to one another.
Doom is what you would expect out of a typical first-person shooter, except that the game is kind of like a maze, and some doors won't open unless you find its matching colored keycard. It's a nice twist to the FPS genre, and not only that, some paths won't open unless you find the right switch, which could be all the way on the other side of the level.
So, is Doom really the best first-person shooter of all time? Well, that's up to you. I mean, I really don't know the answer. I hardly touch the genre due to the oversaturation of first-person shooters out in the market today. I mean, I love the Halo games. Well, except for ODST, that was okay. I especially love Halo 2, and I've yet to play the Half-Life series. I mean, I do have Half-Life 2 on the orange box for the Xbox 360, but I've hardly touched upon it. I mean, I was more invested in Portal than anything.
Doom also has some pretty exhilarating music. I mean, by today's standards, it's dated, but it still does set the mood of the game, making the demon massacre all the more satisfying. The graphics were good for its time, but suffers what most first-person shooters go through, and that's age. I mean, even masterpieces like Halo, GoldenEye, and Half-Life suffer from severe aging, since at the time they strive to be as realistic as possible. I mean, while I'm not much of a fan of Borderlands, that game aged very well since it went the cel-shaded graphics route. And this brings me to my next point. Doom did not age very well at all. I mean, teens today may be alienated at how early this was in the first-person shooter genre. So this is a game I cannot easily recommend to everyone, unfortunately. But overall, I would give this game a 96 out of 100. Even though it shows its age, it's still a lot of fun, and if you really want to check it out, I recommend you give it a try, but you might want to download it on Xbox or PlayStation, for fear that if you download it on Steam, your computer might be too advanced to run the game.
Well anyways, thank you so much for watching my review of Doom for the PC. Comment question: what is your favorite first-person shooter? Keep in mind, there is no right answer, so feel free to just throw out one or another. I mean, even if you think Medal of Honor Warfighter is the best game of all time, go ahead, I mean...
Doom did, however, spawn many sequels. As for sequels, there's quite a few. I mean, there's Doom 2 for the PC that picks up where the first Doom left off, which has one new weapon and a lot of new enemies. It's more or less as good as the first one. There's also Final Doom, which is really just an expansion pack rather than a sequel. There's Doom 64, which is not as good as Doom 1 or 2, but it's actually really good itself and has a lot of new concepts including weapons and enemy redesign. Then there's Doom 3, which is a reimagining of the franchise, and although I haven't played it, I've heard it's a departure from the franchise. But a lot of newcomers love it, while purists were divided as to whether to accept the changes or not. I never played it, but from what I hear, it's really good if you treat it as its own thing.
See you next week for my review of Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon for the PlayStation. And also, check out wirejackal.com if you haven't already. Again, thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay awesome.